Welcome to Not a Great Whisperer podcast. This is your host, Katy Ray. I am joined by the beautiful Christin Underwood today from Zoom because she is in Arizona, but I really wanted to have her on. Not only is she a fitness trainer, super intelligent, USF alumni, so am I. And I wanted to bring her on to really talk about just the country right now and the season that we're in and the injustices we're seeing and kind of what's going on. She is a Black female entrepreneur and in general just leaving a corporate atmosphere, the strength it takes to do that and really put yourself out there. I know she sent me my workouts when I was pregnant with my third because she's super motivating and I love watching her videos and I know her through a friend and she's inspirational. And during this, it's been very eye-opening and I feel like I've learned a lot from her. So I wanted her to join. Thank you for coming. That was like the longest intro ever. Christin, thank you.
Thank you for having me, Katy. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to do this with you.
Yes. So the owner of Hype Fitness, right? What did I say, right? Hype Fitness.
Yep.
Dancing, fitness, all day. If you want to get hype, call Christin. And so you went from, of course, Florida native.
Yes, Florida, born and raised in Clearwater.
To LA, and now in Arizona.
Yes, in Arizona by default because of hashtag coronavirus.
Okay, by default.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Coronavirus. What the fuck? And how do you explain the jump you took from bank life, corporate life, to becoming an entrepreneur? Like, did you just like feel it one day? You're like, this is it?
Yeah, actually. So, I mean, I've been in banking for 10 years and I was really good at it. Great money, all the perks corporate America has to offer.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't until I got into my own fitness journey just for myself and started kind of posting some pictures and things that I was doing. And I was getting such a positive response from people about my post being really inspiring and then motivating them to get up. And that is when the light bulb went off. And I was like, wow, this is what I've been like looking for, like something to inspire people, to make them feel better. Banking's great money, but it's not my purpose.
Yeah. You're not changing lives. Well, maybe you're like handing people money or helping them with their finances, but you wanted to really impact their like every day.
Yeah. I needed more. And once I figured it out, it was easy, no brainer.
So you figured it out when you were in Tampa, or did you figure it out? Okay. What was that jump like to LA?
Scary, but so exciting. So exciting. I told myself I own a home in Florida. So I was like giving myself every excuse. I'm like, well, it may take forever for my house to rent out. So let me just see. And then my house literally rented in 12 hours. I was like, okay, all right, well.
Gotta go.
I'm out.
Wow, and you owned a house. I did not know that. That's crazy. But I understand that people always are like, no, we have to wait to sell to move, or we have to. No, you're like, no, 12 hours, did it. LA is more, I feel, just because of my friends that live out there, Florida and LA are different.
Very.
Like 100%. Like just the atmosphere, the demographic in general. So how did you feel? Like once you were there, was it just like, wow, this is.
I was like, this is where I belong. Such forward-thinking people, so progressive, not judgmental, just everyone belongs. There's a place for everyone there. Everyone's hustling. The city is just explosive.
Yeah, compared, like be yourself, enjoy being happy.
Yes.
Don't be an asshole and you can stay here.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
How's Arizona changed for you?
So it's a lot smaller. So it's kind of like I'm going back to kind of Tampa, but even smaller than Tampa. So it's been quite an adjustment. If it wasn't for my boyfriend being here, I definitely would not be here.
This would not be one of my top choices
at all. I never Tucson, Arizona was never on my list of places, and I've traveled quite a bit. Traveled quite a bit. Never thought about this, but it's more definitely conservative.
Oh, okay. So back to Florida.
So yeah. So this is just a pit stop. This is just a detour.
So I'm glad we have a little background about Christin, and where she really wanted to be was Tucson and Arizona. And she made it. She got there.
My dreams.
But with everything really going on and not being in LA, has that been hard for you, feeling like a little disconnected with Black Lives Matter and the protests? And
Oh, yes, for sure. It is seeing everything, watching it on social media, having Melissa, my best friend, still be there and posting. It's really hard. Like I want to be in there. I want to be at the front line. But it's just, as far as finances and stuff, I need to be here and start making money. But I every protest, every vigil for George Floyd in Tucson, which I'm actually very proud of them. I've been at, they've done a lot of stuff for Black Lives Matter in Tucson as well. So.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I've been at a couple protests, vigils, celebrations, like a lot of stuff going on here.
So just being involved in what's going on, and even though racism has been an issue, what do you feel has really opened your eyes this time around? Like what is empowering you, and also what's kind of frustrating?
Empowering me is just seeing the response from so many of my white friends, like and other ethnicities, but mostly white, finally really speaking about this. I've seen such passionate posts, people, like so many people out in LA that I know, white people, like in the front line, getting hit with rubber bullets, being taken to jail, just really risking a lot for this. And that has just been like so uplifting and has warmed my heart a lot. And so that's what keeps me, motivates me to keep speaking, keep posting those not so, beautiful videos, very hard to watch videos, because I think people need to see it. And I think that is what's making the change, those videos, people seeing it. It's one thing talking about it, but it's another thing seeing it.
Yeah. And do you notice how many people that you've now removed from your life?
Oh my gosh. Yes. I've removed a lot of people, some that are just been acquaintances that have said dumb stuff, but some that I've been friends with since middle school. And so those have been quite difficult, because I've been in their lives for a lot of big moments, maid of honor, baby showers, like that close. And just to see some of the things that they posted, or lack thereof, being silent, has been very hurtful. And it's just something I'm not going to tolerate anymore. Yeah.
And I think I identify as white, and I'm Lebanese, yes, but I identify as white. If you look at me, you'll be like, oh, she's white. But for me, trying to explain to people that white privilege isn't being sorry that you're white, but just acknowledging that we've never had to run through that obstacle of the color of my skin is so frustrating to me, because people think it's that white fragility, I think, that I've run into, of just like the take offense and how dare you, I worked where I am, or this or that. And you're just like, I never once like demeaned you. Like I didn't demean you. Like, and I really, really fucking hate. And I don't know if for me, I hate the colorblind. It's like acknowledging someone's differences and the beauty in it and everything like that. But I don't know if it's because my dad's gay, where I've always been so welcoming and I like people to be happy, and I don't judge you by what you look like. It's your character. I don't know if that's helped mold me, but maybe it has. I don't know. But I've finally gone into the point of like educating people rather than ignoring and just like pushing away, because I don't feel like Black people have to do that. I think it should be the white people speaking up. And I love like certain things women did and share the mic. There'd be like a white author, actress, and they did share the mic, and they gave it to a Black woman activist, Black woman author, and they took over their Instagram to get more people on board. It was super cool. And I love things like that. But then you have those really shitty people on the side, and you're totally right. Like people I've gone to school, middle school with, they just post shit that is just hateful. And
so ignorant, so misinformed, so uneducated. And so this doesn't affect me. So I don't want to talk about it. I don't care about it, because this is not my life. This is not my life. And people just very sheltered and narrow-minded on how things really work. And I think that is one of the biggest things of my friends, like in Clearwater, that I'm no longer friends with. They're just in that bubble. They're in that bubble, and they do the same thing every day, and they're not. It's just that I think the culture is missing. Being cultured.
And and I hate to say it because I live here and my kids are here and we're in Florida, but I do feel like there's more ignorance when you don't like travel or you don't really get out there and see other cultures. But it's just like open a book.
Yeah, exactly.
Like just one book. Like that's it. And I felt really frustrated in the beginning because I didn't know some of the things I know now. And I was like, why? Where were my blind? So you get that little bit of like anger on yourself, but then you're like, no, just learn, just be better.
Just learn. Yeah. As long as you're trying and you're making an effort and you're seeking the knowledge, there's nothing wrong with that. I don't know everything. I don't even know everything about my history, my ancestors. Yeah. There's stuff that I've learned in the last month that I'm just like, geez, like this is crazy. So no shame in that, as long as we're seeking and not keep turning a blind eye and being that ignorance is bliss.
So do you have strong conversations within your family?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Always.
Yeah. We've always had, having my parents grow up during the civil rights movement, there's so many stories. My grandfather marching with Martin Luther King, so many things that they've been through. And it's quite frankly, I'm so thankful that I'm not racist, that I wasn't, that they knew that like not everyone is like this, and they were able to really nurture me to love everyone, because like some of the stories that they told me, I feel like I would just hate everyone too. I could see.
But the way they told you was more of a teaching moment.
Yes, more of a teaching moment, and still just allowing me to love. I had so many white friends growing up. I grew up in a predominantly white area. So yeah, all the girls I'd bring over were white, and it was never like, well, where's your black friend? No, just love everyone. And I'm very, very thankful of that, especially with what they went through.
And you have siblings?
I have an older sister. And then I have two stepsisters who are white.
Okay. So was that ever talked to each other, kind of what you have to go through separately from them? Was that hard conversation ever happen, or it was kind of just like an understanding and
Yeah, actually, we didn't really talk about that until we got older.
Okay.
We didn't really talk about that until older, and they learned a lot more as well. And so now both of them have been much more vocal on it and everything. But as children, no, we kind of just played and that was it.
Lived your life happy.
Yeah.
So for me as a mom, watching mothers have to have their conversations with their sons or their daughters, and just really seeing the impact it has, especially at so many different ages. If you do have children, do you feel that you know what age to have that conversation, or did you have a conversation at a specific age? Just about just how hateful people can be?
Yeah. I mean, I think it starts affecting our children at a very young age. There's so much racism already in like elementary school because it is a top behavior and things that they say they don't even realize they're saying it. So I think honestly, the younger, the better. As long as you feel like your kid is old enough to actually process it. It's a really heavy topic, but I do remember bits and pieces of my parents talking to me about things that would happen in school and explaining to me that like, there is a difference. There is a difference in your skin color, and you are going to have to work a little bit harder, and you are going to have to represent yourself in a more professional manner in order for people to take you seriously.
And now that you're kind of living it, so you hear it as a kid, right? But you're not like really absorbing it like you are. But now that you're in it, you see exactly where they're coming from.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But do you see like do you see the do you see the racism? I mean, do you experience it on a daily basis? Well, maybe not Tucson, but in Florida, or like different areas.
Yeah, in Florida, and actually, didn't expect it. And actually in California, the first gym that I started working at, one of the managers, he said the N-word. And like there was 3 other Black people in the gym at the time. So, and there was already a whole bunch of stuff that was building up with this person. So all of the staff, which included 4 white people and 3 Black people, made a whole complaint letter to HR, followed the whole protocol. And the 3 Black people, myself being one of them, were let go. That was it.
What?
Yeah. So that was the.
But everyone was on the complaint.
Everyone was on the complaint with different things that they had with this manager. Him saying the N-word was kind of the last straw. And they were like, hey guys, we need to like get this out in the complaint. This is enough is enough. He's done this. So yeah, of course, HR went over everything, blah, 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 blah. And then the conclusion a week later was Christin and 2 other people. Yeah, we no longer want you with the company. So that was kind of like, wow, okay. So that was probably the most in your face thing that I've faced recently as an adult. But I mean, I definitely have had racism growing up.
Yeah.
as
Parents
a
and
child,
kids, right?
Parents and kids. Yeah. I remember there was a time when I was there's 2 white girls outside jump roping at my apartment complex, and I saw them out the window. I was like, oh, I want to go play.
Yeah.
So I went out there. Yeah, I went out there. I was like, can I jump rope with you guys? And legit, the kids were like, oh, we don't play with niggers. That's what they said. Like, and so I went inside and I was kind of deflated. I was kind of like weird at the time. I think I was probably 8. And my mom's like, what's wrong? And I told her, and she grabbed me. We went over to their house and she's like, I want to let you know what your daughters just said. The dad opened the door and he said, they're right. Like they're right. We don't play with niggers. And my mom, like her eyes like welled up and she just grabbed my hand and she's like, don't go over there again. So, and I was still just like, what's going on? I just want to jump rope. I don't understand. Like,
and your mom, what a badass walking up to that man, but still scary for her because she has to protect you. So you're just like, wow, if that man has that much hate, we have no idea.
Yeah. So she was like, don't go around them. We don't know what they're capable of, So
do you have a lot of people reaching out that are like family members of cops or family members? It's not like you're not attacking like a whole force, right? You're just saying speak up when you see people. And I have cousins that are cops and this and that. It's just like, I'm not saying like every single cop should, but you need to speak up, right? It's just like you can't let things go by because this ugliness just continues.
I definitely know people who are cops and they've commented on some of my statuses and I'm just like I think I posted the other day, I'm like, if you have 3 bad cops and 10 bad cops that look the other way, you have 13 bad, there's 13 bad cops there. You have to speak up. It's not okay just to watch what's going on and just be like, oh, this is this brotherhood. We have to just keep the whole, defeats the whole purpose of being a police officer.
Yeah. The protecting of really shitty people has got to stop.
Yeah.
So what do you think in this kind of like beauty and this horrible, painful, and just traumatic experiences for people? Like, what's the beauty you see right now?
The unity and people standing up. I mean, even with my closest friends, like there's some of my friends who I know are not racist who they've been vocal, but now it's to another level. And it's like, they're not taking anything. If anybody's having a crazy status, they're the first ones before I can even get to it. People are just not taking it anymore. And I think they're really seeing the injustices and the inequality in this country. And they're just like, wow, no more. And so that's been so beautiful to see people just educating themselves, standing up for one another and just really banding together, like being in the protest here and being the minority in the protest, like literally brought tears to my eyes. I was like, I think I was one of 3 Black people out of the 1,000 who was marching. And I was just like looking around like, wow.
How about in your corporate atmosphere? Did you ever feel, has it ever felt very uncomfortable in meetings or anything?
There's been a few times where they've my current manager at the time, I was getting ready for like a promotion. So I was going to have a meeting or an interview with another manager. And she was like, oh, are you going to keep your hair like this? Because sometimes I would straighten it periodically. And she's like, are you going to keep your hair like this for tomorrow for the interview? I'm like, well, yeah, it's my hair. And she's like, I really think it would be best if you straightened it for the interview, just to have a more professional look. I'm like, oh, the hair that grows out of my head is not professional. Okay, well, no. So needless to say, so just stuff like that, like little comments here and there.
And it's crazy because to them, that was a normal conversation, right?
Yeah. I wouldn't even, I couldn't imagine saying that to somebody. Yeah. I couldn't imagine saying that shit to somebody.
Like I go curly and straight hair. I couldn't imagine being in there and they're like, your natural look, it should probably not be there tomorrow.
Yeah. I mean, we had to pass a law in California. That was the first state that you couldn't discriminate against people's hair.
No, that's what the fact that there's laws like that, and the things I've learned that have laws of, the things I'm learning, it's like, okay, this is awesome. I'm learning these things, but I'm also like, why did I bring children into this world if this is what we're fighting, like basic human rights, to literally have the own hair on your head? So with all of this, a lot of African-American Black people are coming out that are saying some really shitty things, and then white people will repost it and be like, see, I don't only say it. Can you give me like some just background and feelings on that as a Black female? Because they're females and males, and sometimes it's like
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Right.
Yeah, it's really disheartening. It's very, very, very hurtful to see those type of videos, and I think it's definitely for publicity. There's no way. First of all, they do not speak for the African American community. And I just hate that, like, that just gives white people or any other ethnicity something to latch onto and say, see, this person has it all together. They know what they're talking about. And it's like, no, they want clout, they want publicity, they want money, and they're literally selling their soul to get it, to get it. And they're not a representation of a whole. And that infuriates me too. When I see that on Facebook and people are reposting as a justification as to why they think the way they think, I'm like, this is not a pass for you to continue this behavior because the one Black person made it feel okay.
Because the person's Black and they're saying this. So
there's racism within our own community as well.
Yeah, or the there's 5 actors that are like, don't acknowledge it and you can get through. Yeah. What? Money talk. Money talk. But, if you have the 5 Black actors that said it, then you should definitely repost it as a white person. It's definitely awesome. Yeah. Thank you for showing your support. And how about the real push, right? So big corporations, their take on Black Lives Matter. And you've seen that push, but now they're looking to hire diverse cultures. It's just like, I know it's nice to see it change, but like, are you really meaning it?
Yeah. Why are you meaning it? Or are you trying to save your ass right now? Because you're seeing all these companies getting canceled within seconds because of things that they're saying. So where's this coming from? A money standpoint? Or do you really feel like we have things that we need to change? Because we've been fighting for this forever. This is not 1 month of inequality or, they're looking over this job resume based on the name. And then this one, when, the African-American person has way more qualifications for the job, but doesn't fit the look. So it's hard. It's like, it's exciting, but it's also just like, what's the intention? What's the motive?
Like, is it really you changing your heart?
Yeah.
But
or are you just trying to keep your company afloat?
It's sad to have to like see it like that, but it's true. Like, you have to still protect yourself from that. So what, with of course, Black Lives Matter and people's responses. So I'd love to hear your take on when people respond, well, what about Black on Black crime? I really hate that response because what about white on white crime? What are we talking about?
We're not negating the fact that like Black on Black crime is a thing. White on white crime, statistically, you are more likely to kill somebody of your same race. That's just statistics. But the Black on Black crime, usually 9 times out of 10, they are punished. They're in jail. They're serving the time. We're talking about the injustices when it comes to police brutality against a Black person. And then they're out free, like Breonna Taylor, still out, living their life. That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about the statistics on who's killing who. We know that. I get it.
And I feel like the responses are all like stock responses. And then it just shows that they have the racism that they have to work on. So we've all been built on this system of you have to fight really hard sometimes to get rid of those ideas that you put in your head from media, from your surroundings, from where you live, your environment. But it's like, just do the work, right? But when they have those like stock responses of the one that really bugs me the most is all lives matter, because even with all the laws being passed, or you having to fight for healthcare or for transgenders and LGBT, and I'm just like, why is that person fighting for that? It's not all lives matter if you're racist towards Black people, if you're discriminatory towards gay people, so please stop saying that as your stock move, or I just can't.
I know. Why do we have to have laws in place like affirmative action just to make sure that Black people can get hired and get a job?
Why is that there?
Why?
You don't see color, or that you're not racist. So like the logic is there. It's just like, how do you get through to people? Who do you stop? So I told one of my cousins, because she was just like, I'm exhausted. I go, let's just focus on the kids then and have the conversation, call them out, but like, don't put all your energy into that. Like, how many conversations have you just cut off because all your energy is going into that?
Yeah. And I have my days where I'm just like, all right, gloves on, let's go. I'm going to keep going. And then I have some days where I'm literally reading some of people's comments and responses, and I'm just like, this would take me months, I feel like, for them to actually understand. They're so backwards and so stuck up their own ass and so entitled That literally just yesterday, it was someone, and I was just like, I just deleted them. I'm like, never mind. It's not even worth my energy. This stuff is so draining, and it's really gotten me in some really dark places this last month and a half that I have to, for my own mental health, cut it out and take a break and not go on Facebook because it is so hurtful.
Mm-hmm.
So hurtful.
Is that something you've done for yourself, is just take time out from social media and stuff and focus on you?
Yep. I've had to just log off, and then it's like, I have that feeling of guilt where I'm like, I was
just going to say, do you have guilt?
Yeah. I was trying, because, I love posting my fitness stuff, and I'm happy. I'm typically such a positive person. This has been such a dark place that I've been in for a long time, and that's so uncharacteristic of me. So I'm like, where do I find that balance of still being happy and still trying to inspire people, and the world is still going on, but then also making people know that, no, this is not over just because we're not having that blackout square anymore. That you posted. That wasn't your one day to do. This is something that has to keep going. And so I'm just finding a balance. I'm still posting the things about Black Lives Matter and the videos, and then also with Pride Month happening too. I'm still trying to talk about that because that's something that goes hand in hand. And then still find that balance of things that make me happy as well.
Oh, that's good. And I feel not the guilt I feel guilt for the Pride Month too, because I've always focused on that just simply because of my dad. But I was like, it's just not a time. And it was really refreshing to see in Tampa, the LGBT community really pushing for to blend it so that they weren't taking away from Pride Month, but they were also like, this is a big deal. Like, we need to make sure that Black Lives Matter is top of mind. So I did enjoy that. And even like the last few days, I did Pride ones, and then kind of just calling people out. Yesterday. I love when people reach out and they're like, your posts have been kind of down, not motivating. If I'm throwing some real shit, because that Elijah story of that 23-year-old boy really,
oh my gosh,
ripped my heart out. And I,
me too.
I get in a different dark place of how can I help? Where can I help? What have I done to not help a situation? And the mom anxiety creeps in, and you're just like, what the fuck? So that really hurt. And when I post that and then someone responds, I'm like, did you even look into this story?
Yeah.
And if it didn't enrage you, it did me. There are so many stories like this out there. And if one doesn't, go to a different one. Find one that actually gives you that you want to, it's out. It just gives you that rage where you're just like, how are you not helping? And I'm not desensitized for shit, horrible things. And I had a conversation with my friend the other day, that dorky question of what can I do more? And she's just like, Katy, call out the white friends that you have. That's it. And I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah, I can help.
Yeah.
I'll do it. Okay, I can help.
Going back to your Pride, that's what I posted about yesterday, because the whole month I've just been so engulfed in the Black Lives Matter, and I'm like, okay, it's Pride Month, and I'm like, this is exactly what I need to post, because I need to show people, am I part of the LGBTQ? No. Am I gay? No, I'm not, but I can still empathize. I still know the discrimination that they face. I still know that it can't just be that community's voice being heard for change to happen. It takes everyone. And so I'm trying to show people that even though it doesn't personally affect me, I can still stand up for these people. And I still love so many people in this community. And that's the same for turnout and the same thing that we need in the Black Lives Movement, because it just can't be Black people.
No,
it just can't. It can't. And so that was why it was so important for me to post that and show people, see how this works, guys.
It's just kind of hearing some of the stories of racism as people or children, even on LinkedIn, has been a huge outlet for very, very high level professionals to voice, when they played soccer in a white part of town and all these slurs from children and parents. It rips my heart out, because that's disgusting. Disgusting. And to hear that story and not be like, that's really fucked up. Maybe we should do something about it. You're also disgusting if you don't think that. And at such a young age, right? We're so innocent. We just live our lives. We're running around. Just want to play fucking jump rope. But that nastiness that you learn, yes, inside your home as well. Yes, it does start at home, but it also happens when you go to a career and you don't say anything when someone's showing ugliness. So it's because you saw at home maybe something else too, but it's just, there's just so much I can't wrap my head around of logical behavior that and how do you feel about rioting, looting, and things that they always focus on negative and they forget to show peaceful protesting? how the media does that.
Yeah. It's so hurtful too. It's a whole agenda to make us look like heathens and crazy. Look at these people. They're so uncouth and just crazy. And this is why they're getting killed, because they're criminals. And look, it's right here. And it's just like, there's so many peaceful protests, and actually it's been turned ugly by a lot of the police officers there. So that's a whole nother story. But the rioting, it's just built up. You can't, you take so much. We can't just sit here and just be quiet and just hope that the judicial system will work in our favor for once and just do the right thing. And then it just keeps happening, getting disappointed time and time and time again until you lose it. I don't care. This is not my city. This is your city.
Like, so I don't care about Target. You can't sit back, cross your fingers and be like, here we go. Let's see how they do.
Yeah.
How do you feel with coronavirus? Like, so pandemic, this hour, like, how did that really affect you? Because were we still on shutdown when the protests? No, we were on guidelines, like phase ones were open.
Yeah.
Right. When the protests happening. So how did that affect really everything going on for you?
Well, I've already been in such a crazy place because I haven't been working for so long, out of work. And then so we're supposed to be staying at home. And then all of a sudden the George Floyd video comes out and everyone's enraged and we're like, what the hell's going on? And then at that point I was like, I don't give a shit. I'm going out. I'm going to be out here. I'm going to be protesting. I don't care. Like, this is bigger than it was just fueling me. Like, there was no way I could just sit back and worry about the pandemic right now.
Where were you when you saw the video? Like, who sent it to you? Did you see it on a link? Like, what was that moment like?
I think it was back here. Was I here? Here in LA. I'm not sure exactly where I was, but I saw it on Facebook. No. I saw it on Instagram, Sean King's page. Okay. I saw it on Instagram, and he had the full video on like IGTV, and I just was like, and when I first watched it, I'm like, oh, he's going to get up. They're going to just get up and then they'll arrest it, whatever. It's still fucked up regardless, but he's not going to. And then when they lifted like his lifeless body on the gurney, I was like, we literally just saw someone get murdered.
Yeah.
On camera. Like, and it's on everywhere. I was like, and I was enraged. Yeah. It brought tears to my eyes. I was shaking. I think I watched it like twice, and then that was enough for me. And I saw fire.
Yeah.
I saw fire.
That put me I couldn't watch the whole thing. I had to admit to people because once I knew he called for his mom, that was hard. That puts me, during COVID, I'm going through postpartum. I have a 4-month-old. It's like a lot of things, but knowing that he called out for it, like I just like and I can tell, like, when I see other videos or news stories, like my demeanor changes. Like, wow, you don't realize, because you are in your little bubble, right? So you don't realize so much ugliness. And then they're replaying a video of literally a man dying. And you're like, people are sharing this. People are like, what did he do before this? Does that even, like, what kind of fucking question is that?
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's a criminal. I love that one too, especially with those, some of the videos, people posting like, oh, he had a crazy criminal history. He was in and out of jail. He was this, blah, blah, blah. I'm like,
really?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you should die on TV and you should replay the video from the hands of a cop. Like, just, you're just like, what the fuck? But I talked to a lot of people. Like, I was like, where were you when we saw the video? And they're, like, they can remember exactly like their reaction. It was just like, what do you do next? Like, what's next?
I immediately reposted it because I'm like, people need to see it. You need to stop looking away. Just stop, living in this fairy tale land that this stuff doesn't happen. It does. And it's on tape now. And it's been happening for years. It's just on tape now.
No, I know. And I always say, like, with the protest, it's good to see that a lot of creatives go out to, I'm friends with a lot of creatives and art and photographers and videographers. So now you're seeing the other side, right? So they're only showing rioting and looting on TV. But then on the other side, you get their cameras and what's really happening from the other end. So it sucks, but it's also like, finally you have both sides coming out to then be able to see what's happening. Did you ever run into any type of being pulled over or anything?
No, nothing crazy when I've gotten pulled over. I mean, I've definitely had some asshole cops, but it was nothing that was escalating to this where I felt like scared. or anything for my life.
Okay. And so when you would get pulled over in general, you wouldn't be scared?
No.
Okay.
I never felt like that. Thank God.
I know. And growing up in Florida, did you go to public school for high school with Melissa? Okay.
Yep, Clearwater.
Shout out to the tornadoes. Did you notice different, did you play sports?
I ran track for a little bit, but I was in band. I was the band geek.
Okay. So did you notice like different groups, type of, I always say like jocks, or like different groups are more welcoming than others for like crews of groups that you were in or after school activities?
Yes, I feel like I was always so well-rounded and friends with everyone, but you definitely saw the cliques. But there's never really too many times where I didn't feel like welcomed in certain groups. In high school, I knew a lot of people. I pretty much got along with everybody.
It's your personality.
So that was, so that wasn't too bad, but there definitely was the cliques for sure. But.
Because that again, as just someone looking in, it's like, I feel that actually public schools might be more, where I went to a private school, my sisters went to public school. They had more well-rounded amount of friends, like I saw it because they were older. But for me, I never really looked in from the outside until now of like how they strategically place one Black person in every grade. So is that when someone comes out, I was like, well, you don't have any Black people? Yeah, we have this one person.
Yeah, well, yeah, and that's something that kind of came full circle for me with some of the friends that I had to let go with. Most of my best friends were white and been friends for 20 years, this and that. And then when it came time for me to feel like I, stood up for by them, they were silent, or they were posting about, oh my gosh, Target is being looted. And so we got into it, and it kind of had that aha moment that I feel like I've just been that token Black friend to them. Like, I have this Black friend, and because I speak articulate and I don't have the stereotypes that people put on Black people as far as how they dress, where they grew up. I have, two very educated parents and teachers, and that taught me to speak articulate and everything. I was accepted by them. And now coming full circle 20 years later, I had that moment, and it was just so hurtful. And that's when I had to end that friendship. I'm like, you guys, I've been here with you guys for 20 years. We've been through everything, and you have zero to say about this subject. And you supposedly love me. I'm part of your family. But yeah, I realized they loved me when I was being complicit as well, when I was young and not talking about this. But now that I've been so vocal, they're just kind of like, ugh, what's going on with Christin now? They're like, what happened to you?
Oh, wow. And that had to have been a dark place for you. Like realizing you put so much trust into people. Cried.
Oh yeah. Lots of tears. This is 3 weeks ago.
You're asking them to show up for you. And it's like, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. And they're like, why are you like this now?
That's sad. But it's also nice to see people's true colors, because it's like, where do I want to put my energy? But you've already put so much energy in them. And then you're like, oh, okay, thanks for coming to hang. Thanks for being there for me during a pretty bad time. But so now that you're getting back in the swing of things of so you have to kind of revamp for Tucson?
Yeah, it's been a hard change, but I'm working at a new gym now. And then I'm still seeing some clients via Zoom in LA. And then I have some one-on-one clients that I'm starting to build here and teaching group fitness. So I'm kind of just starting all over.
Yeah, that's okay though. You've done it. You can do it. What do you want people to really like take from this, like the listeners, just from your perspective, and because you're kind of exhausted teaching everyone and educating, right? I know the one thing that you said, the empathize, use your voice, and fight alongside of people that you might not be a part of, like for you LGBT. And for me, LGBT, as well as the Black community, I know that my voice might help that one person kind of see the big picture, and not just, their stock ridiculous responses. So I know I can speak up, like, what do you want people to take from this? Because you're exhausted. You're trying to get back into a routine, but also fight for injustice.
I want people to not be scared to stand up for what's right. And to realize that if you think that you're going to lose friends, if you think that you're going to get upset with your family for standing up for humanity, then you need to reevaluate who you have in your life and who the people that you call your friends. I want to encourage people to really research the history of America. That is key. That is huge. Really understanding the foundation of what this country was actually built on, and not being silent, not being complicit. That is almost worse. So
yeah, so I finally got my rights back to vote this year, and I've never felt so overwhelmed. I'm a felon, but I'm a nonviolent felon. So give me back my rights, 12 years. But I've never felt so overwhelmed by the information and like, of course, people who are just not nice to other people, but just like the little asterisks on everything, like bills that are being passed, and you're just like, holy shit, this is so much information.
There's a lot.
But there's just so much at the local and state level, and let's have some rallies in a horrible racist city and do all this horrible things on the highest level. But then you see like local and state, like you're like, wow, it needs to start here so we can then reflect. But I've learned so much in that aspect. So I'm kind of just absorbing everything and trying to just get back to where I feel confident in who's representing us, and
make informed decisions, educate yourself. Don't just go with, okay, well, I'm even me. Don't just vote Democrat because you're a Democrat.
Exactly.
You have to really research the person. Like, it makes a difference. It's not just checking a box and whoever gets it gets it. And clearly we can see that who's in power makes a difference.
100%. And I love when people are like, oh, but you're Democrat, so your family's Democrat. So this, I'm like,
no,
I go for the right candidate. Like
the right candidate more than ever now. Yeah. More than ever now. Fuck. Yeah. I don't give a shit.
Yeah. You're like, I don't care. Okay. It's just the right candidate. I don't care.
Yeah.
So with Hype Fitness, you're keeping Hype Fitness in Tucson, living your life. So you're going to go back to your dance videos and all that fun stuff. You're getting back in the swing. That's good. And I feel like you're going to show people that you can still fight for injustice and still live your life that you're living, while still being a voice for everybody, because it's so important. And it's nice to hear that from you, because for me, I was like, I didn't post a couple podcasts for a couple weeks. I was like, what can I do more? What, COVID was happening too. And then I was just like, how can I be better or more impactful? But you're right. You got to have a balance, right? You can still fight for injustice while doing the things that make you happy.
Yeah, you have to take care of yourself mentally and physically. And I was realizing I wasn't going to the gym. I was eating shitty food. I was just engulfed on social media all day. And it was really getting to me. And I was like, okay, I have to still be taking care of myself to be strong enough to do this. This is a heavy, heavy time in our lives, everyone's lives right now. And so I was like, all right, I have to still get my workouts in. I have to still do things that make me happy and smile, but don't get it twisted. Like, it's not over. It's not over and it's not okay. So
like, I'm going to do my dance video, but you better not make a comment where I got to call you out, because I will. I'll call you fucking out.
Exactly. No problem.
I think to all the white people who are listening, and you don't have to, I always say this, like, you don't have to feel guilty for being white. Just speak up. That's it. Just speak up and speak from your heart, because I think we put in place of like fear of either being judged or something like that. And it's like, you're legit just sticking up for a human.
Yes,
just a human.
Exactly.
Like,
exactly.
It.
And make a black friend. I'm sorry if some of you guys don't have black. Make a black friend. Go up to somebody, smile, talk. We're not evil people or anything. Like, we're not all criminals. We're not all thugs and all this stuff. Go talk to someone. And it's not scary. Get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, have your hard conversation. I know at first I was like, I really want to reach out to Christin. Is this weird right now? Is it not? And I was like, you know what? She's always come with education and support, just how you portray yourself in general. And I was like, she'll tell me if she doesn't want to fucking do it. Like, she'll at least tell me.
No, I'm glad. I'm happy. And when you're asking, you do podcasts, that's what you do. And what can you do? This is what you can do. You're doing something that still makes you happy. This is your podcast, but you're also using your platform to be informative and to spread awareness and to talk about what's going on. I mean, you could just be talking about, I don't know, food this week and whatever. There's so many other shit, but you're using it to stay relevant in what's going on.
So what do you think are some nice educational tools for people right now? I know How to Be Anti-Racist by Ibram X. I'm focused in on right now. I'm doing like a webinar. He opened up free that I have I'll post on my Facebook. But like, is there anything specific you feel helps people kind of open their eyes up?
So many documentaries. 13th on Netflix is amazing.
Yeah,
and then on Amazon Prime, The Unforgettable Truth is amazing documentary as well. And then I honestly feel like, I don't know if you've seen 12 Years a Slave.
Yeah.
Have you seen that movie? Mm-hmm. Hard to watch, but I think going all the way back into that time needs to put some things into perspective, and it's brutal. It's brutal. And I think that shock and that needs to be seen. So those two documentaries have been really informative and really eye-opening for me as well. So 13th and then The Unforgettable Truth.
Okay. Unforgettable Truth. I need to do. Okay. So let's find you. So all of your handles and all that fun stuff, website and stuff.
Yeah. So it's on Instagram, it's _@hypefitness. And then I also have a website, hypefitness.org. And then Facebook is just Christin Underwood. I do have a Hype Fitness page, but I post most of my stuff on my actual personal page. So just Christin Underwood. Yeah.
And thankful for you. I appreciate you so much taking the time. We're in different time zones, living our Zoom life, but I am thankful for you, and I'm thankful for your patience. Right. So I don't think it's your Black friend's job to tell you or teach you things, maybe direct you in the right way, but being patient with everybody really around you. Yeah. And just showing people like, it's okay if you have to let those toxic people go. Like, I'm here. You're still thriving. I'm not going to say your age, but you're thriving. And you're showing that, you can do this. And what's even more amazing is you're a fitness trainer and you've hit that little bit of a rut and you're connecting with people even on a more of a level with everything going on. And you're like, you can get back into doing your thing for yourself. And I think you're very inspiring and empowering. And I love that you were on today. And I love that you joined us from your new home. And I hope you're having fun. I hope everything goes well there. I think you just bring energy and good vibes to anywhere you go. So I think it'll all work out with that.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
And
thank you so much.
Keep doing your thing
on
Facebook and Instagram and just teaching people. But I also want to make sure that you bring back our dance videos. Gets me hyped.
I will. I will. I know. I was just talking about it the other day. I'm like, all right, Monday motivation. Just tune in. It'll be there.
Okay. You'll find Christin on @Not a Great Whisper podcast page, at katyray.com, at The Real Cray. Thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate you. And, we just want people to be a part of the movement. It looks different for everybody. Just speak the fuck up. That's really it at the end of the day.
Exactly.
Right?
Be a good person.
Just be a good
human.
Fucking human. Judge people on character,
that's
please.
It. That's it. Not a lot.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining. You're the best. Thanks, Christin.
Thank you. Bye, Katy.
Bye.